Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much, BRM, as always, calling me because it's a great pleasure to come here and talk to people. So, my first question to you is, you are eligible to vote, right? Are you registered to vote? Have you registered yourself to vote?
Yes.
Can I have at least yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very good. Do you go out and vote?
Yes.
Why? Yeah, it's necessary to go out and vote, according to me, because if I elect the wrong person and he does something wrong, it's my fault. And if I don't go out and vote also, it's also my fault, because then I'm not involved in my city. For example, in the next little over a year, we'll be having the next municipal elections. Okay, and though we have municipal elections, and then we have assembly elections, and then we have parliamentary elections, it's the municipal elections that affect our daily lives the most, because every day, whether it is water or whether it is garbage or whether it is roads or whether it is anything else in the city, including hospitals and dispensaries, etc., everything is connected. Trains, is everything is connected with our daily lives. So going out and voting for um, for the municipal elections is very, very important. So before I continue, I want you people to give me a promise. Not only will you go out and vote, but you will see everybody in your family, in your building, on your road. I can't hear you. Can you promise me that?
So, yeah, we lost you in between, ma'am. Can you repeat the last
Yeah,
sentence?
I'm trying to tell you that since we are having the municipal elections exactly a little over a year from now, and the municipal elections affect our daily lives more than any other, whether they're parliamentary elections or assembly elections, they affect our water, our drainage system, our road system, our garbage system. Everything is affected by the municipal elections. Will you give me a commitment that you yourself will go out and vote on that day? You will make very sure people in your family go out and vote, people in your building go out and vote, and people on your road go out and vote. Can you make that commitment for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
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 Because I'll just give you an example. What we did in before the last elections, that was three years ago. We wrote, we went and contacted a lot of schools. Okay, maybe 200 schools, 400 schools. We went and contacted them, various trusts across the city, and we made the teacher write in the calendar of every child that mummy and daddy, please go out and vote and make Mumbai a better city for me. You understand what I'm saying? And the parents signed. And in a couple of schools, it was the same time as results were being given out. And that principal was amazing. He said, you will not get your child's report if I don't see the dot on the finger. You know what the dot on the finger means? You have voted.
Yeah.
So I think that commitment in a democracy is absolutely important. And we have to keep India as a democratic state. You agree with that, don't you? We can't afford to be anything else except a democracy. And the best thing in a democracy is to vote for the right person. Okay, so I've got the answers correctly. And thank you very much for telling me this. Now, why do we need good, what shall I say, good elected representatives, etc.? Where are they getting their money from? If they're going to spend their money on doing up the garbage system, if they're going to spend their money doing up the roads, where is that money coming from? It's coming from you and me. It's coming from my taxes. They are not getting their own money. They might swallow some money and put it in their pockets, but that's a different thing altogether. But they are getting it as a taxpayer's money. Therefore, I have every right to question where my taxpayers' money is going. If, for example, I send my maid servant to the bank, to the market, and I give her 100 rupees, she's supposed to come back and tell me, I spent 95 rupees, here's 5 rupees back, etc. Similarly, he is a public servant. He is my public servant. I am his boss. Therefore, he has to be accountable and responsible for the taxes he's getting from me. So please keep that in mind when you vote for the person and you know that that person is a good person. So I have therefore also a right to question where my money is being spent. Now I will give you a few examples of, how I have kind of helped out in the city. The latest one, which I'm very, very proud of saying is, everybody's talking about segregation of garbage these days. Okay, let's segregate garbage. That's one thing, into dry and wet. Dry waste goes into a place. What about the wet waste? The wet waste is going to Devnar. I have been to Devnar and I've been inside that dumping ground. I came home and had a bath with Dettol. I was stinking so badly. Okay, so I can imagine the people who live in Devnar, what it must be like. So people are deciding now that if we are going to be segregating, what do we do with the wet waste? What we started doing in Bandra a couple of years back was to compost that wet waste. If you compost that wet waste, nothing goes to the truck because you compost it in your garden. You use it as manure in your garden. There are some societies, which are big societies, which are even selling that manure at a cheaper rate and therefore making some money for their society. There are schools which are doing it. So how do we do an incentive for this? Mr. Pardesi was at that time the municipal commissioner and he had just come from Pune here. And I have lots of relatives. My son lives in Pune, so I know what it's like in Pune. In Pune, what he had introduced was that if you are composting, which means it is zero waste going out, you will get a concession in property tax for your building. Therefore, I told him, we went, the Agni trustees, we went and met him and I said, Mr. Pardesi, if you can do that in Pune, why can't you do it in Bombay? And it has started in Bombay. And in the H West ward, that is Bandra Khar, Santa Cruz West, where I stay, the maximum number of composting is done. The least amount of waste is going to Devnar. And there are buildings like Mount Mary Road. Many of you have heard of Mount Mary Road. There are at least 20 buildings plus 2 schools, 1 church, which are all composting, and they all have got a reduction in property tax. Now, it's a very good incentive. That is the what shall I say, the latest thing that we have done, and I'm extremely happy or proud of whatever it is. Now, to go back to getting people involved, I don't know whether you've heard of ALMs. What are ALMs? They are called Advanced Locality Managements. They are actually, it's an American concept, but it means that you take charge of your locality. Your locality means your road. If I have a road where there are, say, 30 buildings and 5 bungalows, it means everybody is involved in keeping that road A, clean, B, hawker free, and garbage free. These are the 3 most important things. Okay. So when I used to, I was in that building and way back in the early 90s, we decided to form an ALM. I said, now how do I contact people? I knew people in about 10 buildings. So I rang them up. I said, chalo chai peene ke liye aa jao mere paas. So about 10, 15 of them came. I said, can we start an ALM? Do you think? They said, my God, this is a brilliant idea. We'll call more people. Let's start having meetings, etc. And we started, and actually the H West ward has the largest number of ALMs in the city. In the city, I'm telling you this. So we started and we got these ALMs together. And I will tell you one example of what a fantastic success it was. In 2005, if you remember, we had floods in Mumbai. Now, Perry Road, of which I'm talking about, my ALM, is a slightly raised road, but it has 7 to 8 roads perpendicular to it, which are lower. And my road was not flooded, but all those 8, 9 roads were totally waist deep water. Now, why did this happen? We don't know because we don't know what is happening under the road, under the footpath. We don't know anything. So I went and met my ward officer and I asked him, I said, sir, what can we do about this? I mean, let's talk, you know. So he said, you know, madam, what we want to do is, if we just repair your footpaths, it will take just 6 weeks and we've been promising you to repair your footpaths. But if we introduce what is called the Brimstow Ward project, which is supposed to be done all over Mumbai and it's not being done because we people are not pushing it. The Brimstow Ward project means that you put your entire drainage under the footpath and you broaden it. My footpath, but he said it will take 6 months, madam. Your road will be, you know, not in a comfortable. I said, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it will save those 7 to 8 other smaller roads which had got flooded. I spoke to my people. They said, very good. We will do it. Don't worry. So this Brimstow Ward thing, they dug up the entire footpath and the earlier drain, what is that, radius, a diameter was just 9 inches. Today, a 1-year-old child can walk through that drain.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much bigger he made it. And we have never had floods in Mumbai in this area again because of it. And I complimented everybody. All our youngsters helped a lot. That's what I expect from people like you to do. They would go from house to house, door to door. Where do you want? You want your car to be parked somewhere else? Can we help you with this? Can we help you put, boards across your gutters so that your servant maids can come and walk through here, etc. I would get phone calls at 6 o'clock in the morning. What to do? Somebody's come and pinched it, but it worked. The important thing is that it worked, and that Brimstow Ward project has been extremely successful. So that is one thing which you have to get involved in it. Okay. Then we also realized that, if you remember again, years ago, the BMC staff went on strike. And the BMC staff, that is the water department, went on strike. Now, when the water department goes on strike, it means you're not going to get water. So I again asked the ward officer, he said, madam, can you please help me? Can I convert your drawing room into my office? Because I can't go to my office. I said, of course you can. So my whole house was converted into a BMC office. And what he told me was that how these, outside every building, there is a pipe and it goes down into the ground. And then there is a what? What's that called? And no, it's called like a ring sort of thing. So what these guys had done was, every morning, actually, they used to come and open that. And that's how water used to go into the building. From the road, it used to go into the building. So if they are on strike, who's going to open this? So I spoke to all the youngsters, because I can't expect people who are older to step way down like this. And I managed to get 15 to 20 people who were between the ages of 18 to 25. And they all said, auntie, we will do it. And they used to open that, go down into that shaft and open it. And people were getting water on my road where other people were not getting water. So I said, look, let us make this one step better, because now let's start getting rid of the hawkers on the road so that it becomes a perfect road. Okay, we had hawkers all over the place. So we decided to keep watchmen. Now, if you're going to keep watchmen, we have to pay the watchman. Where is the money going to come from? So I said, let every family pay per month 1 rupee. That's nothing much, and we can keep 2 watchmen, 8 to 8. And again, 8 to 8. So there were 1 or 2 buildings, they said, nahi, hum kyun paisa de denge? Ye to BMC ka job hai, hum nahi karenge. So I wrote them a letter, said, okay, don't want to do it, don't do it. Next time we don't have water, I will tell the children not to open that shaft leading to water, and you won't get water. The rest of the people will get water. Next day, I got a check from that building. So sometimes when you think you're in the right, you have to maybe threaten people, or you have to make them answer correctly. And we have got rid of every hawker on that road. Our watchmen were threatened by the police. The police picked up the hawkers, locked them up, because they knew they were doing wrong. I wish they would do the same thing on Hill Road, because Hill Road is in a total mess right now without masks. That is the worst part of it. Okay. So that was another achievement that we did. Then how do you get people together? For me in India, it is vital that people of different religions fight together for a common cause. So I will give you a common cause. We came to know suddenly that Hill Road has got churches and has got Parsi Agyaris on the road itself. And they wanted to widen the road. In the process of widening the road, they were going to take away land that belonged to the Parsi Agyari and land that belonged to two big churches, St. Peter's Church, St. Andrew's Church. St. Andrew's Church, where they were going to broaden it, there is a huge big cross, which is the oldest and the biggest cross in Mumbai, which means it is of such historical importance. Both these churches have got boards saying that this is a heritage structure and therefore cannot be touched, but the BMC decided to ignore it. And we called them for a meeting. We had about 500 people. We called them for a meeting and we called the BMC staff and we said, are you going to be doing this on Hill Road? So they said, no, madam, if you all are against it, we won't do it. I said, oh, very good. If you're giving a commitment like this, it's very good. Suddenly, in those days, we didn't have mobile phones, etc. I get a phone call that from a Parsi family that, madam, on the board outside of the wall of the Parsi Agyari, it says, day after tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, the bulldozer is coming. I said, oh my God. So as many people as we could contact, we contacted and said, okay, let's have a meeting there. Then I had to go and get police permission. So I went across to the police station. I said, will you give me permission? And I want the police to come there. So they said, madam, if you need a microphone, you will have to go all the way to town. I said, don't worry, my voice is loud enough. I can shout. I don't need that. And I don't think we'll get too many people. So we decided to take signatures and we thought maybe we'll get 100, 200 people. You know how many people we got? 1,500 people came for that meeting from different communities, whether they were Muslims or Hindus or Sikhs or Parsis. They said today it is a church, tomorrow it could be a temple, it could be a Gurudwara, it could be something else. They cannot touch this. So we decided to form a group. Politicians tried to poke their nose in, including our MLA at that time. And I told him very clearly, I'm sorry, I do not want a single politician there. Only the priests will come and only the activists will go. Nobody else will go. Johnny Joseph was at that time the municipal commissioner. And we went and met him, took an appointment, went and met him. So he's telling me, he said, oh, madam, Mrs. Kulkarni, why are you grumbling now? We've been wanting to widen Hill Road since the last 10 years. I said, then why did you give permission for new buildings to come up in the last 10 years? You could have widened that part, no? And not give permission for buildings. These are more important than those buildings are. So he got a bit of a start. He said, okay, I think we will have to reconsider it. We'll have to reconsider it. I said, fine, reconsider it, but we will not allow you to do it. You just watch how it's done. So he made a commitment. He said, I'm sorry, we will not touch any of these things. And they did not touch. They did not, till today, they have not touched. But I was a little scared. I told him, I said, Mr. Johnny Joseph, I want you to give it to me in writing because today you're the commissioner. Tomorrow you're gone. The next commissioner will start this whole thing again and we can't keep repeating it. So he said, look, I can't give it to you in writing. I'm sorry. So then we were wondering, now what do we do? We had a good MLA. He's still an MLA now, Ashish Shelar. So I went to him and at that time he was a corporator from Khar. So I told him, I said, you are on the standing committee? He said, yes. I said, raise this in the standing committee. It will get minuted. The moment it gets minuted, it's on record, which is what he did. And it's on record. 5 years ago, they came back again. What do we do? I had the minutes. I said, read the minutes. Sorry, you can't do it again. You cannot touch these things. So, and it's in our hands. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It is in our hands to do these things. Whether I told you about the Brimstoward, or whether I told you about the Hawkers, or whether I told you about Mount Mary Road. So if there is anything that I want to do, I told you about property tax. If there's anything we want the people to do, I'll give you another example of something very interesting. Remember when we had the tsunami floods in Chennai. Okay, so they were expecting tsunami floods in Bombay also. So we have in Bandra a beach called Chimbai Beach, which is basically meant for the fisher folk, the original settlers of Mumbai. Mumbaikars, the original East Indian community of Mumbaikars, and they all pull in their boats during the rainy season and park them on the sand because they can't go out, and then they go out. Now this MLA, this bad MLA, who also wanted to poke his nose in at that time, not Ashish Shelar, another MLA wanted to poke his nose in at that time. He wanted to build a tsunami wall. Now, when they build a tsunami wall, a lot of money goes into their pocket, okay? So we wrote a letter to the fisheries department. They ignored it. They did not listen. And in spite of saying, no, no, we won't do anything, we won't do anything, 2 bulldozers came one day to Chimbai Beach. And I'm so proud to say 20 to 25 fisher women in their 9-yard saris jumped on top of those bulldozers, and said, Pude gela tak khabardar. They had that kind of strength in them. Until today, there is no tsunami wall there. So what I'm trying to say is that we can defy, he's an MLA. He can't dictate terms to us. I voted you in power, I'll throw you out of power, which we did. So what I'm trying to tell all you youngsters is, in a democracy, power lies in your hands. I have every right in a democracy to ask a question and to get a reply to my question. Use the RTI. We exposed 2 corporators like this. There is one road in Khar, I think, Khar or Santa Cruz. One side of the road belongs to one corporator, the other side of the road belongs to the other corporator. And when they filed in how they had spent the money, they both put the names for that road, which means 50% of it went in their pockets, right? So under RTI, we found out and we exposed them at a public meeting. And they had to admit that they made a mistake and lost the next elections. So what I'm trying to request you to do is get involved. It's very, very necessary, because I believe in this statement that bad things happen when good people keep quiet. Okay, now I'm throwing it open for questions. Ask any kind of questions you want.
Ma'am, how did you start it? Like as a young person, how did you start it?
See, I wasn't, I was quite young, yeah, maybe because I got married quite young and had 2 babies also quite young and started working and things like that. But I could see things were wrong around, I found that there were too much of dirt lying around. People were throwing things in the garbage. They were eating chips and throwing the thing in there, and then blaming the BMCs not cleaning the garbage. The drain is not being cleaned when they are responsible actually for making that drain dirty, etc. So I said, how do we get involved with this? So I'd heard that there is such a movement called the ALM movement. So that's when I decided that we would start an ALM. And then all the ALMs of the H West ward got together and we formed a federation, and I became a chairman of that federation for 10 years. And then Agni, of course, I was a coordinator with Agni, and then Mr. B.G. Deshmukh, who was then our main director, said, I would like Shama to become a trustee. So I'm the only woman trustee on the Agni board. So that's how I started moving steps up, because like I said, I'm not going to keep quiet. Even today, if I go for a walk to Joggers Park and I find anybody without a mask, I yell at them. One boy I yelled at and he tried to threaten me. As luck would have it, the police van came up at that time. So I said, okay, you want to threaten me? Come with me to the police right now. And he was put in the police van. And word went around, they don't threaten me anymore. They're scared. I don't care. Let them get scared. If I'm doing something wrong, I can understand. But if I'm doing something, again, I'm going to tell you something in total confidence, okay? A rule, somebody had decided that posters, especially posters of political parties, should not be allowed up. And he had taken it to court. Now he was not getting enough proof. So I got a phone call from one of our, he's retired now, one of our very senior additional municipal commissioners. And he said, Madam, will you please come to the office? I want to talk to you. I said, okay. So I came to the office. I was wondering what he wanted to talk about. So he said, not here in the office, but inside in a private room. So I said, okay, what is this private room business about? So he said, how well do you know this? I don't want to mention name, this particular person who had taken this whole thing to court. I said, I know him quite well, and I know where his office is in Santa Cruz also. So he said, I am going to give you the list and the areas of where these political hoardings are going up, because he doesn't have the time or the money to do it. So let the BMC help. The BMC officially cannot help, but we are helping through you. I told the municipal commissioner, if there is one person I trust totally without asking for anything else, is Mrs. Kulkarni. I was never been so touched or never been so well complimented. And we did it, and that man won the case. And a lot of the political hoardings, if you notice in Mumbai, have come down. So that's how maybe it's just started working out that way. Yeah.
And ma'am, like there were so many increased number of threats. Like whenever you start some of these things, I think the fear is so high. Like I know right now also with so many things around whenever you protest even online or you put a word out against anything, so much of things are getting sensationalized, so much of fear is increasing, and so many like family members are also concerned. They're like, why are you even getting involved? Like we shouldn't.
Totally.
How do we navigate those?
See, that is, to be very honest with you, my biggest fear right now, because I don't want to make any comment on any particular government or non-government or whatever it is. But in a democracy, freedom of expression and freedom of speech is part of our constitution. And if you are not going to allow me to practice that, then we might as well say we are not living in a democracy.
So ma'am, I had a question. Like when you initially started your journey while raising your voice, so like was your family supporting you? Like either it was like friends भी आके बोलने लग जाते हैं तुम्हें क्यों करना है? Leave, let it be, because even the political pressure is so much कि people come and try and tell you कि अरे छोड़ देना रहने दे, why you need to go in this? Like there is so much of other side pressure. Like how
Bali market, which had been lying empty for 10 years. They had built part of it, and for 10 years it was lying empty, which means some corporator, some MLA has put money in his pocket, and that Manthan Builders was doing nothing about it. So some of us went and met him. We took an appointment with a senior additional municipal commissioner and said, sir, all the people who are on the road selling vegetables, selling fish, selling whatever it is, place is given to them on top. They all have licenses. It's not as if they are illegal hawkers. So shift them up there, no? That is the best way to do it. So after fighting, in the next 1 or 2 months' time, the market has been done up and they are all going to be shifted on top. Now, it was very funny. The BMC and the police were, trying to find these so-called illegal hawkers, because it meant they would make money. So one day when I had gone to buy vegetables there was one vegetable man, old man, and this police officer, a junior person, was telling him, क्या कर रहा है तुम? तुम्हारे पास लाइसेंस है क्या? So he said, हाँ लाइसेंस है, लेकिन मेरे पास अभी तो नहीं है. तो ठीक है, फिर मैं तुमको फाइन करने वाली हूँ, तुम फाइन दे दो, 5,000 रुपया देना पड़ेगा तुमको. So he said, मैडम मैं दिन में 5,000 रुपया कहाँ, मैं पूरा महीने में 5,000 रुपया कमाता हूँ, मैं कैसे ले लूँ? She kicked all his vegetables on the road so that they were sprawled on the road. And I went up to her and I said, excuse me, madam, you are a police officer. Show me where it is given to you permission that you can kick the vegetables on the road and you can do this and threaten a senior old man. She said, who are you to talk? I said, it doesn't matter who I am to talk. Either you answer my question or I will take this up at the Bandra police station at a senior level and see to it that you get punished. Okay, I'm very sorry. I made a mistake. I thought we could do this. I could do that. I will help put everything away. So you can even threaten some police officer because they are also doing illegal stuff. Don't get frightened.
Thank you.
Yes.
मैम आप सिर्फ मुंबई में एक्टिव हो कि मतलब महाराष्ट्र में?
What?
मुंबई में एक्टिव हो कि महाराष्ट्र में?
मैं तो
मुंबई
मुंबई में
महाराष्ट्र
active हूँ. I'm most
नहीं,
active
मतलब
in Mumbai and most active in my area actually. Actually, each one should be active in their own area and then it works very well. Then it works very well. There are people who are very active in Juhu. There are people who are very active in Borivali. There are very active in Andheri East, all belonging to Agni. So we do have people who are doing good work. We used to print a monthly magazine called Mumbai Meri Jaan, running into 4 pages. And at that time, we used to distribute it to people. Now it's not possible to distribute it, so it's online. So what I will do is I'll send it to you,
Yeah, you've
and
sent it
then
to
you
me.
distribute it. And at the back on the last page is the names, the email ID, and the phone number of the Agni coordinator of that area. So you ring up that person, and that person will help you.
मैम एक मतलब जानना था कि आप इतने साल से बीएमसी को देखते आ रहे हो, तो बस हिस्ट्री मतलब जैसे पहले वार्ड्स अलग नहीं थे, डायरेक्ट एमसी वार्ड ऑफिसर्स नहीं थे ना?
हमेशा वार्ड ऑफिसर्स हमेशा है, पहले से ही हैं वार्ड ऑफिसर्स. उनका अभी नया नाम हो गया, उनको अभी एडिशनल असिस्टेंट म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर बोलते.
यस.
बट वार्ड ऑफिस. यस.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
I had 2 questions. One is, like, are there any issues that are more difficult to sort than some, like, for example, issues of sanitation, no public washrooms available?
The most, according to me right now, one of the most difficult issues we have is the hawkers. Because we have to do something to get rid of the illegal hawkers we have and to put the legal hawkers into municipal markets. So that is a very, very important thing that is there for us to do. Second, segregation of waste, according to me, is the next very important thing that Mumbai needs to do. So that, because what is happening is that many of the dumping grounds are overfilled, they're flowing out. So where are they going? And it's going to start affecting the health of the people who live around in that area. So we need to start localizing. For example, take leaves. A lot of the branches and all that fall, we try and put it in the wet waste, and therefore that truck gets filled with nothing but green waste. While you have shredders. So if you have a public garden close to your house, like I have one right next to my house, but there are others like Joggers Park, or there are others, request the municipal officer to keep a shredder there, or that shredder can be a mobile shredder and can move from place to place, and put all the green waste inside that, and it gets shredded and becomes compost. So you're not taking it to Devnar unnecessarily. You're keeping it within your constituency, within your ward, and it is being used for the correct purpose. And if you can find people who will donate, if BMC says, oh, we don't have the money for enough shredders, get people to donate shredders.
Thank you. And I just had one more question. Any issues that you came across and you try to solve them, but they didn't get solved because usually I'm sure like you would have faced some challenges. So how
this is the biggest challenge that we are facing, is this not segregating and allowing everything to go to Devnar. It's happening in my area. For example, in Bandra, it is happening. Maybe in Khar and Santa Cruz and parts of Juhu, it is happening. But it's not happening in the city. Why are we not as a city working? मी मुंबईकर आहे. आणि मी जर मुंबईकर आहे तर मी मुंबईकरला जागृत केलं पाहिजे. You know what is जागृत? Make it aware. Make us aware to make Mumbai the best city in the country. It can't be just the financial capital. If it's the financial capital, do you know that Mumbaikars send the maximum number of taxes to the central government? We are not even aware of this. For example, South Bombay is much better than North Bombay is, or the suburbs is. Why? When we are paying, Bandra is paying the maximum number of taxes in the city. So I need to know why you are not doing anything for my area, and I will keep pushing you till you do it.
Ma'am, question around couple of them. One was कि how do we engage people in our community, etc., to work on civic, right? So one is, now if we are doing fellowships, we know कि these are the ways, this is how you could do it. थोड़ा structure process के बारे में भी पता है. But now from here, if we want to kind of, one is make it sustainable या थोड़ा amplify करना है voice, so we will need community support. But एक hesitation ये होता है कि people are like कि हम बाहर जाके कैसे बात करेंगे, because what if they judge? Like a lot of hesitation comes for especially as youngsters कि हमें कौन seriously लेगा, so on and so forth. So what do you have to share about that? Like how do we engage more of communities, and how can we kind of make them also an active part in this entire process?
Okay, so now what happens is, very often we as adults, we sit in our chairs, maybe with a glass of beer, watch the TV and curse the news, but do nothing about it. My hope is your generation. If your generation contacts as many people of your generation to form groups within your area and starts working and shows that positive work can be done, then more people will listen to you. That is why I said form ALMs. For example, we have in Bandra, Khar, Santa Cruz, we call it JAG. What does JAG mean? Joint Area Action Group, which means it's an Agni group, but the JAG is from Bandra, Khar, Santa Cruz West. And we have about 25 to 30 members, all of them above the age of 50, but all committed to work. We meet once a month. Now we of course have Zoom calls because we can't meet once a month, but otherwise we meet once a month, and we see to it that the corporator of that various areas comes and meets us. We see to it that we have a monthly meeting of our ALMs where 100 people attend the meeting with the ward officer and his entire staff, and then they reply to questions. They put up a PowerPoint presentation. They ask us, can we do this for you? Will you be able to help us with this, etc. So this communication between the services which are provided for us and we working for them makes a big difference. I think we need, of course, we need to fight. I'm not saying no, but we need to cooperate and we need to work with them. And when they realize we are working with them, they will help you.
And you're saying these ALMs are there around Mumbai, right? So if people, or like if these people want to start or like be part of that,
yes.
So one is Agni can help, or we can get in touch with you as well, right?
Absolutely, you can get in touch with me. She'll give you my phone number. I can help you, tell you how to start an ALM. Write a letter to your ward officer saying that this is the road. These are the so many buildings on that road. Therefore, so many people live on that road. We would like to register ourselves. Give it to him. He will give you a registration number. You choose a secretary, you choose a chairman, and from then onwards, all your communication with the BMC is through that letterhead, so that they are aware that you are an official ALM. ALM is recognized by the BMC. And the more ALMs you have, the better the city will become.
I was asking, is there an age like criteria or something to form ALM?
No age. I'm 74 years old. No age. And I think I joined when I was in my early 30s maybe, or late 20s. So where was the question of, there's no age. Mr. Jerson Dikuna, who is our vice president, is 90 years old and still extremely alert and very involved.
Also, ma'am, to form an ALM, do we need everyone in the areas? Like, do we need their consensus? Do we need them to say, okay, yes, go ahead?
Yes, you need to go and ask them. For example, take your own building. Suppose you have 20 flats in your building. You can ask them, don't you think we should start segregating in our building? Don't you think we should start doing that? Then you can go to the next building, go to the building across, and there will be children of your age in those buildings. Then they will pick on that building and say, okay, I'll be held responsible for my building. And like I told you, that 9th standard boy who went around in his building, Marinisha building, it's become very well known in Bandra for that. In fact, we got a Marinisha award appointed to that for that boy. So it is something that can be done if there is cooperation between people of your, more or less your age. Yeah.
Is there a minimum number of people we need for the ALMs?
No, not at all.
So for example, if everybody from a building doesn't agree,
Yeah,
but say 5 people agree.
that's fine.
That's
5
fine.
people from one building, 5 people from the next building, 5 more buildings than representatives from building. More buildings means pressure comes on that building.
Right.
Okay, for example, when on Perry Road we had those 30 buildings, like I said, not everybody came for meetings, but there were more people coming, and as they realized we were doing more and more work, more and more people started coming for meetings.
It's okay to start with say 5 buildings and
Of
5 members from
course,
each.
absolutely. And then word gets around, and then people will understand that you're doing some work, and you will see that your road is clean. You will see that anytime water is leaking out somewhere, you can ring up. And if you're an ALM member and you ring up the BMC department for something, they will give you more attention because they know that you are concerned about the city. It's not for selfish reasons.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
So it's kind of question or maybe not. So I had recently filed a complaint for gardens. So maybe like around 2 kilometer of area, more than 2 kilometer of area, we don't have any public space. Like not a single garden you can say where people can walk by. I am privileged because I have a garden in my building. Matlab, that's a lot of space. So I had filed a complaint mentioning that we need a public space in our area, and then I had mentioned कि personally I know there's no such space in our area कि जहाँ वो लोग garden बना सकते हैं. तो वो किस तरीके से वो लोग लेंगे? मतलब मैंने तो लिख दिया कि भैया मुझे garden चाहिए. तो वो उसको कैसे मैनेज करेंगे कि वो गार्डन बनाएंगे कहाँ फिर जब जगह ही नहीं है?
वही प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है क्योंकि we don't have enough open spaces in the city. We don't have enough open spaces. I'll give you an example. Have any of you come to Joggers Park in Bandra? Joggers Park used to be, yeah, it used to be a dumping ground. I'm not joking. Literally, people used to throw garbage over there because it's close to the seafront and they didn't care. And we had a teacher. He was a sports teacher of 2 schools in Bandra, Sir Oliver Andrade. And he decided, and I remember helping him way back, he said, look, let's start putting stones over here so that we completely cover up the area and then speak to the BMC and do it. Today, my next issue of Mumbai Meri Jaan will show you how Joggers Park is slowly becoming better and better and better, though it is already 25 years old. It's now becoming so good that it's going to be one of the best gardens or open spaces in the city. So if you can locate a place where an open space can be done, it would be ideal. But getting an open space sometimes is tough. And you have to save it. For example, look at Oval Maidan. You know Oval Maidan, right? So there are people who stay opposite the Oval Maidan, like Naina Katpalia, etc., who fought for it and saw to it that nothing happened there except games. And you can see how beautiful it is and how open it is, and which is what we need to breathe good air in Mumbai, sorry.